listen, don't worry. You do not have to pick between the two of us. We are both here to talk with you about Below Deck Med season 9, episode 10. That's right. We've already made it to episode 10. I am your captain, Sasha Joseph, joined by our co-captain, our chief entertainment officer, honestly, our personal band right here. Chappell is here.
Yes, I'm here, and I would never sing a song about having Sasha as a co-host and having another person as a co-host, and then trying to decide which one I
Imagine
want.
me and Mari.
Yeah, and I'm just singing along like,
we know.
why not both? Why not both? Listen, Mari out here, she got other co-hosts too. She out here co-hosting with Matt Scott and Sarah Carradine. She for the streets when it comes to this podcasting. So I don't know. I can't be tied down, Sasha, but this episode was messy and it was fun. I can't wait to talk to you about it.
Yeah, I was taking notes, just being like, yes, okay, finally we have something to talk about. I'm here. I just feel like we have a lot of opinions we need to share. So I'm ready. And also at the start, I'll just say I watched Watch What Happens Live for this week. Ellie and Gael were on. What a snooze fest.
What?
Like literally questions useless. Ellie took a lot of accountability, and she's like, oh, I regret this, I could have done this better, whatever, like basic stuff. Gail was just like, biggest thing, her and her ex don't talk no more, and her and Nathan don't talk anymore, like, or they're friends, so I just wanted to say it was terrible. One of the little games was, is this a porn name or a real, like, is this a real porn or fake porn, like, because Ellie does only, anyway, boring. Yeah, and Lindsay in the chat also says, like, I couldn't make it through the whole episode. Agreed. So,
well,
anyway.
It's funny because, of course, shout out to her for taking accountability. Yes. She has a lot to take accountability for. Yes. But as far as our viewing pleasure, that does nothing for us. That does nothing for us. Like, again, take accountability on your own time. On my time, be messy. Be messy, fight, argue. Don't take accountability. Actually, do the opposite of that. Deny, throw people under the bus. It's messy. It's probably really personal. It's real life. But we are the viewers. Don't come on Watch What Happens if you're going to do the right thing. Come on there if you're going to stir the pot.
Correct. Okay, don't just please. They had Thundercats talks about how they hi Brown Sugar, Miss Brown Sugar, and Thundercats talked about how the eyebrows game, dumb as hell. Agreed.
What was the eyebrows game?
They literally had literally like this part, and I'll give you, it was Michael B. Jordan's eyebrows versus Amir from Martha's Vineyard, but just the eyebrows, and you had to pick. Unfortunately, I also would have picked Amir's eyebrows because I was not doing Michael B. Jordan justice, and that was a whole game, literally just seeing people's eyebrows.
Oh, so there was nothing. They had nothing to talk about. They had nothing to get into. That's wild, especially after an episode like this, because I have questions. I have comments, I have concerns. I thought this episode had a little mess here and there, had some things to talk through. Even if the show didn't give us a lot, I feel like you and I are going to make a meal out of some of this stuff. So I'm very excited.
Agreed. I'm very excited for all of this. So let's get into it, because I don't know if I have a hot take, but I have a new take. I'll say that. New take for Sasha. Everyone else might have it too. Anyway. So we start with Captain Sandy, right? Like right then. And Ellie says, listen, I have no issue with leaving. It's fine because I've done everything I can. Bri's like, we just can't ever get along. Blah, blah, blah. Captain Sandy said, X, cut this out. Be kind to each other or both of you are out.
Which is the bare minimum. Be nice. Just be nice. You can work together. You don't have to like each other, but all this extra stuff, this noise talking behind each other's backs, that's why this is not working. Just be kind to each other at the bare minimum. I love Ellie because coming in on this moment and just being like, Captain Sandy, I have taught her. I have sacrificed. I have given it. What else do you want from me? And I'm thinking, girl, you know what you did. Stop playing. Don't get me wrong. Bri is not perfect by any stretch of the imagination. But Ellie, you are not innocent. Stop it. Like, all I can do is teach her the best that I can do. I'm at my wit's end. All right, Ellie. For sure.
I'm telling you, this is for me. It was like when an unstoppable force meets an immovable object. That's it.
Yes,
that's all this was.
Yes, all my life I had to fight. Right. So you really like, because you have to remember, we left off the last episode with Bri being like, honestly, Captain Sandy, I'm over it. Like, she can't keep getting away with this. And then we start this one with Ellie being like, it's the RHAP, but I just do my best here. I said, okay, all right, I like it. I do.
That's what I'm saying. And Matt Forrest puts this in the chat. Matt says, right, like, I kind of want Ellie to lean into being the villain and not take accountability.
Get that check.
How's the villain check? Listen, period. Because Split Fries says, is Bravo money not good enough? Why are you doing OnlyFans? So that's the thing. I want my villains to fully villain.
To do it.
Or what's the point?
And even if they play like, oh, I don't know what I'm doing, like, do that in front of them, but to come to us and be like, yeah, I had to say, like, I need these people to go back and watch old tapes of like old reality villains. Like, do your homework. If you're gonna be on these TV screens and you want to be a villain, you got to lean into it. Look at, like, go to see Tiffany Pollard, how she started off, saying stuff like, oh no, I'm not going to allow this to happen. And then going into full hysterics and then coming back and being completely normal, but it really feels like Ellie truly believes that, like, I just give it Bri everything I have. And if I have to go, if this is the end of the road, how do I get punished for giving so much? That's that job interview question, Sasha, when they're like, what are your flaws? And you're like, I just give and give and give. I give my all to my work, to a fault.
I just become the most important person at work all the time. I mean, now you're tweeting, I want to kill myself. I just became the most important.
Yes. I'm so selfless. Sometimes I forget to take care of me. I'm just so used to giving to others. Bro, that's the spirit. That's what you got. Ellie is in full that mode of just like, I can't see myself doing anything differently to make this work.
Yeah, it's terrible. They're both ridiculous. And for me, this whole episode, I feel good that I can just be like, you're both annoying. And I mean that, like, with love. I just be like, y'all are both pissing me off. Great. I don't feel like, oh, one person has like a weird power dynamic thing. Both of y'all are crazy. Both of y'all are going at each other. Perfect. And let's talk about this, because Captain Sandy does say to Aisha, hey, it's time to move to cabins.
Yeah.
Why are they still rooming together?
Which, first of all, is fair. They've been beefing for a long time. By now, one of them should have been, and I think they've talked about it, right? Like, we saw Bri up and leave before, but Aisha was like, you got to get back in your cabin. I think it's very uncomfortable because you now are inconveniencing the other person who stays in the room, because you now have to change the room dynamic.
Yes.
But at this point, you're right. There's no get along shirt for them. It's like, all right, we separate the two people. You go that way, you go that way, only work together. And then if you don't really have to talk to each other, you just gotta get along through this work and everything will be fine. Aisha does that. And then by the end, Bri is even doing like, hey, can I just have the laundry room to myself, please? Because Bri is starting to lose her mind. She can't tell if she's bad at laundry, if Ellie's sabotaging her, or if it's both. And I feel like it might be a little bit of both.
Exactly. I just feel like it's a little bit of everything, right? Like it's giving everything bagel, where all it's a perfect storm.
Yes, when it rains, it pours.
Yeah. So that's why I can't pick one thing or the other. And I will say, I think Aisha is so bogged down by the work that she's not able to supervise well.
Yeah.
Because there's a whole another human that should be here.
Oh yeah, big time. I love the moment where Bri comes to Aisha and she says, hey, I told Ellie, just so you know, please don't come in the laundry room because I can't figure this out. I think she might be sabotaging me. Like, I'm paranoid about it. And Aisha's like, first of all, I don't really care what you want. This is about what I want, and I need y'all to work. If you're on break, somebody needs to be doing that laundry because I can't do it. So we're not gonna wait just for you. I'm sorry, we're not. And I love that. I love that she did that because it was like, yeah, Aisha, put your foot down. Don't get me wrong. There's things you can do as a supervisor, but you cannot let them dictate how this goes. They need to be able to work together, or y'all need to start looking for a replacement stew.
Especially, tell me what you think, and I'd love to know what the chat thinks, but I feel that if anything, Aisha's been a little bit kinder to Bri, rightfully so. I'm not saying it's a problem, but that's how I see it, is that she has been a little bit more kind to Bri and a little bit harder on Ellie. So that's when I was like, nah, get her too, because this is crazy to come up to your supervisor and being like, I don't want her in laundry. Mind you, you are a hot mess on laundry. No one knows anything. And yeah, Thundercat says, why haven't staff labeled their clothes Charter 1? Or if Ellie's done it, why is it so bad? I just so confused.
Would it be awful for the staff to come in and just write their names on all their stuff? Hey, you have a tag on it, attach a tag to it or something like that. This is my stuff. Put it all in a designated bag. Hey, this is my stuff. And then just do it by loads. You have this group, you do the deckhands first, you do the stews next, you do Captain Sandy last alone. I don't like, is there a water shortage in on the boat? Like, dog, I mean, there's a hot water shortage eventually, but dog, break it down to where you can identify everybody's stuff, because I can imagine maybe losing the laundry of some of these people. But Captain Sandy's laundry is getting lost consistently, and she is your boss. That to me, that feels like you are playing with fire.
Yeah, and I agree with you. I think you do Captain Sandy's laundry alone. It's just not worth it. It's not like good enough. And Lindsay even says, right? I think Ellie and Bri are bad at laundry. But the problem, is that Ellie thinks she's infallible, which they're both working with very different, I hate to even say this, but like they have very different processes, because there isn't really a process, but they are working different processes, and it's not gelling together. And you're right. I think if you do all the deckhands clothes together, you already know Gail's outfit. You're gonna know it's hers. So that's one down. So now it's 3 you have to worry about. 2 of them do laundry to live together. So if one set goes up here, one set goes down, and all they have to do is do a little flip.
A little flip-flop,
no one's complaining about that. And then Ian will, get his clothes as well. And he's a bosun. Like, maybe there's a way to denote that as well. It's just outrageous. And there is now a Below Deck after show, by the way, that folks can watch. Kate Chastain is on it. And she had a lot of great insight. And she said first is that she would separate them. That's number one. Second, she said Ellie has a lot of she has a lot of experience, but she doesn't. And Ellie admitted to that on Watch What Happens Live. She's like, yes, I'm not a service stew, actually. So Kate was right. And then third thing Kate said is the burn book isn't so bad, y'all, because apparently there's no windows in there. And you go a lot of bit crazy, and folks do end up writing a lot, and it's more like a logbook, right? Like this goes in, that goes out. But sometimes you do end up, she says she found herself talking to herself all the time. She's heard people like say, crazy things, because basically everyone's talking around you and you're hearing people go in and out, and they're talking, but you're stuck in a windowless room. So you're going to go a little bit kooky. So she said that's why this happens, which I just felt like was a really interesting perspective.
Yeah, I mean, making a logbook when you're doing laundry makes so much sense.
Yeah.
But if Bri is like writing down like, Bri, I put the laundry in here, and then Ellie, she moved such and such, and then Bri, I removed this, and then Ellie. Like if you're keeping tabs, then if I'm Ellie, I'm like, yeah, what are you doing? Why do you care what I'm doing so bad? Like, it's the laundry. It's not that complicated. You shouldn't be writing it down. I never really thought there was a big deal with her writing it down, but it's just the perception is still that it does feel like either Bri is trying to hold herself accountable by having this book, or she's trying to build a case against Ellie, having a paper trail of like, here's this thing she didn't do. Here's this thing she didn't do. Here's this thing she didn't do. And if I'm Ellie, I would see that and probably feel like, all right, hold on. I don't love that. And Aisha saw it too and reacted the exact same way. Like, hey, what are you trying to do here? Are you just writing down things? Are you trying to present this to the class about like how awful Ellie is? newsflash, we're gonna watch this footage back, and a lot of people are not happy with the Ellie the Ellie activities leading up to this episode. I haven't seen a lot. Like some people are like Ellie apologists, but there's not a lot of them online.
Exactly. It's a mess, and I appreciated that Kate was giving us that, because this is ridiculous. And again, I'm with you. It shouldn't be this hard, but it is. And I think that the addition, like, gotta go back, is also saying Ellie's like condescending in the way the second Stu talks to the third. But I don't know. I don't think we've ever, because Kyle talking to Jess was a thing, and he was
a thing
too.
He was.
Maybe because she's fourth. But hell, her and Kyle and Natalia, that's second and third Stu. So it's just we have seen it, but I just think the way the way Ellie goes about it is just and we drag Kyle too. So it's not like he doesn't deserve it. But this just everyone stop killing. You're killing me. But then yes, please go ahead. No, sorry.
Well, I have a question about this second Stu, third Stu conversation, because Ellie seems to think that this is the chain of command. Aisha's in charge then of Ellie and Bri, and then by proxy, Ellie is now in charge of Bri. In this episode, Aisha says, "You are the second Stu. You have two primary duties. One is this table, and two is cocktails. Everything else are duties as assigned." So when did supervising the third Stu become one of her duties? Because I don't think it is.
Yeah, again, I think there's a time where, right, like if Chief Stu isn't up or on break, the second Stu becomes the person that delegates. I think it's more that, right? To where she can have a moment and she can be the person you go to if necessary, but not in this moment.
Not like this. Not the you can't talk to me like that. I am your second Stu. I am your supervisor. Well, man, why haven't you gotten a fire yet? Why haven't you why haven't you had a sit down? Why have you had a PIP? You know what I'm saying? You haven't done no performance plan. You haven't done no evaluations. It's almost like, Ellie, you lying, and that is not your duty. Your duty is to kind of lead her in a sense of there is work to be done, and between the two of you, you are probably the one that's higher up as far as the delegation goes. But there is no like, I demand you to act a certain way for me. I demand a level of respect. I don't think that is anything that came from it, especially when, Ellie, why can't you make these cocktails? Also, Ellie, we got you on candid camera. You messing up some of these clothes too. You know, we see it. So maybe focus on you just a little bit more.
Yeah, all of it and more and more and more. It's outrageous. Yeah, she dodged that question on What Happens Live as well, where they were like, but is there a hierarchy? Girl, get out of here. It's too crazy. Now, let's also talk about, let's hold rather the Stews here. And then let's talk about the deckhands, because they will convert, the Avengers do assemble at the end, but we need to get the drama for both of them first. So now,
City Boys down. City Boys down. We're down. This was a mistake. Is it an unforced error? He got too cocky. Sasha, my king has fallen.
Which one? First of all, let's talk about that.
Look, they got eyebrows. They got them together. To see was Joe singing this song about the women with Ellie just inches away. I felt like all of my whole soul just leave my body because I was so mortified. I was like, he got too cocky. He flew too close to the sun, Sasha. This was City Boys down big time, down bad.
Not even down there, underground. And here's why. Because Joe has given everyone the ick. Or is this just me? I have the ick from Joe. I was like, no, this is not cute anymore. Like, ugh, you're gross. Because one, that song, and then constantly being like, it's just me talking with the guys.
It's just the boys. It's just guy talk.
I feel like I have engaged in guy talk, and
you pop it off. Sasha be like, all right, boys, line up, let's talk. And I'm like, Sasha, this is inappropriate. Damn.
Valid. Yes, and not in that pick me type of way. So don't even come to me.
In a I want to know y'all business type of way.
Correct. In the like, so how do you really feel so that I can, take notes? It's more that way, everyone. And I help the girlies out always.
Anyway. What? Cannot be trusted.
So yeah, it's outrageous because there's a way to do guy talk to be like, ha ha ha, I have these girls, fine. I'll even let you know. But to make a little ditty about it.
Not a ditty.
And he literally is like sitting here like he's on Mad Men trying to come up with a jingle. And Ellie better than me.
Oh.
The problem is I would have ripped down.
I knew you would have.
I have set up.
I'm about to say the same thing. I was like, the way Sasha's gonna tear that fort down, like she wasn't the one who built it. Sometimes you gotta flip over a table to show people that you really that you mean business. It might set you back a little bit, but you gotta make a grand display of dramatics to let people know that this is not okay.
I think I would have literally done that and be like, and just stared at him, because the thing is, everyone, you just have to stare like them down. Yeah. Don't say nothing, and they will grovel, they will everything. But she was kinder about it. And yeah, and Kate does it in the chat, and on Watch What Happens Live, she's open to Joe hitting her up. It was very weird. She like snuck that in where Andy was like, oh, do you talk to, blah, blah, blah. Like, are you still talking to this person, Joe? And she's like, well, no, but I'm open. But it just, it didn't sit right with me the way she said it. Like, it didn't, I don't know.
Yep. Interesting.
So, yeah. So he made the song. But also, let's talk about how he's talking about my girl, Gael. That was the ick.
So first, let me handle the song thing. The song thing was bound to happen because every episode we see him and Joe like high-fiving about how Nathan is out here wilding with these two women. Like since episode 1, they've been very clear. Oh, we don't care. We do not care. We do not care. Does he care? I don't care. I don't care. Well, they're fighting over each other. None of my business. That's not my problem. And like I said, City Boys was up. They was doing what needs to be done. You have your moment to yourself. That's fine. But you got reckless. You started getting comfortable. So I think he was Teflon. He was untouchable. And so he started walking through the house, through the boat in the common areas, having these conversations. That's how you know he would feel himself.
Yes.
Like he wasn't even afraid of getting caught. He got caught, but he was not afraid of it. He wasn't, like if you really talking trash, you pull somebody to the side, hey, but now he done got to the point where they got songs, they got like you said, John T. Tune compared. Just about this situation, they get caught. And I'm thinking, okay, you lost. You gotta take the L. And honestly, I thought his apology was good. He even tells the camera, I was immature. He tells her I was a prick. I made the mistake. It was bad. I should not have done that. I apologize for hurting your feelings, all that good stuff. So and she accepted it in the moment. Now, knowing what you just said about Watch What Happens Live, maybe she would have accepted it regardless. I don't know. Yeah. But that was something that in one compartment I can see that. Okay, fine. This Gael thing was interesting. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Under the jail.
So he.
Okay.
Yeah, he got exposed.
Say your piece. I see what
he got exposed.
Yeah.
Well, because the thing is like, damn, you try to be an evolved human. You try to hope that like, you start to expect people to evolve as well. He doesn't respect Gael as a worker. He doesn't. He's like, she's a girl stew, so that's different, and all this other stuff. Like, no, she's a stew just like everybody else is, so she should deserve the same respect. And so he just like defaulting to, oh, we're treating her like a princess because Nathan wants to blah 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 blah. It's rude to her. It really is, because it almost gave her no agency in this whole situation. We see that Gael will go and apologize for making the mistake for Jacuzzi Gate, but he's treating her like, oh, she's some damsel in distress that Nathan feels like he has to go and save because they're intimate together and blah, blah, blah. And I need to be the one to say that. Now, I don't think he was wrong. I don't think his information is wrong. Nathan is not Nathan. You should treat Gail like she's everybody else. I don't think you should have to go out of your way and decide that you're going to take the blame for her.
I'll explain my thoughts.
Yeah. Because I thought about it too, and I was like, I know I would have done the exact same thing. I would have definitely been like, nah, it was me, no problem, whatever. Mm-hmm. But I feel like that's just as disrespectful. We all are here working. Let people handle their job. If you can't separate the two, you shouldn't be sleeping or messing around with the person that you work with. Now, should he have said it? No, definitely not. That's a decision that Nathan needs to make on his own. That's not for Joe to decide, like, look at this. Nathan's doing the wrong thing by this woman, and I need to step in because obviously he's treating her like a princess, and it's to his own detriment. Because he wasn't doing that because Gail was being disrespected. He was doing that because he saw his boy potentially taking the L for somebody that he liked. Yeah. And so, like, I don't agree with him doing it. I agree with the sentiment. I don't agree with him saying it. I don't agree with him doing it, and I don't agree with his intention of it. That's why I'm saying.
Yeah. No. Okay. Fine. I don't think you're. I see what you're saying. Rather, I should say. Here's my thing. Let's start. Gail tells Nathan, hey, the valve was open or left open, whatever happened. So this is the issue. Nathan says, okay, I got it. And then it becomes an issue. So Gail actually had pointed out the issue first. Then the problem is that Nathan and maybe Ian didn't do the right, steps to mitigate said issue. That's why I feel like it's fair for him to say it's my problem. But I do agree with you on the fact that, yeah, it's the way Nathan said it makes it look like he's doing damsel, like, knight in shining armor. But in reality, I think it's that Gail started and noted the problem and said, hey, this happened. Nathan and the bosun, aka Ian, should have taken it to Ian. Ian and him should have problem solved. And then that's what they should have told Captain Sandy. Like, hey, you're right. Gail pointed it out. We didn't, do X, Y, and Z, whatever the accountability is. Which goes back to what Captain Sandy's been saying about Ian's ass forever, is he takes zero accountability. Nothing about him is good at this point. And I appreciate Gail taking the accountability. So that's why I feel like it's just the way he tried to knight in shining armor it instead of being like, she did note it. That's why I'm going to take responsibility.
Yeah, they talked about it, and initially the electrician comes by, and the engineer, he comes by and he says, "Hey, there's no hot water anymore because somebody left this open." And immediately Joe says, "Oh, that was Gail." Immediately, like a reflex. Then when it's brought up, Captain Sandy says, "Nathan, Joe and Ian come holler at me." They come talk to her, and then that's when Joe is like, "I'll take the blame. It's me. I was left there. I was responsible." Blah blah blah. Ian, like you said, church mouse. He says nothing essentially. Captain Sandy immediately notes that this is a systemic issue at this point because there are probably checks and balances to make sure this doesn't happen, right? Like there's probably a set way you're supposed to do this every time, because we're on the fifth charter or something like that this season, or the fifth charter. This should not happen because you lose water, the hot water, completely if you mess us up. And they use the jacuzzi probably on every charter. So there's got to be a set way. And so, yeah, it's a screw up. Now, when Gail finds out, she's like, oh, damn, I was the one who was supposed to be in charge of that. I'm going to go take the blame or whatever. But I feel like when Nathan looks and sees this, he's like, he doesn't see Gail going to take responsibility for this, that she doesn't even really have to take responsibility for. All he sees is his homeboy, like you said, knight in shining armor and this thing, and being like, no, it's me. It's because, and he sees, oh, he's doing this because he likes her.
Yeah.
And he feels like, now Nathan feels like it's his duty to go in there and tell Joe, like, you don't have to do that. She's not the princess, blah, blah, blah. It's like, nope, you're not in this. You weren't even involved in the jacuzzi. Shut up. Leave it alone. You don't have to do this. That's why I said, I understand why you would like, obviously, you let people do their job. If they fail at their job, they fail at their job. We're not on here, like, this is all of our livelihoods. We're not on here taking the blame for each other. Now, if y'all have that relationship, fine. Well, like, it's not a huge deal. Maybe it's something small. But if it's something big, then yeah, you let people sink and swim on their own. It's not for you to go out of your way and try to coddle somebody because it's disrespectful to them too. They can do their own job. But it's not for Nathan to decide when and where that's appropriate. Yeah. You don't need to speak for Gail. You don't.
And again, I feel like Gael didn't necessarily do it so wrong because someone could have caught it, right? At the end of the day, like, and Chat is even saying that Gael was going to bed, Thundercat said, and she asked Nathan if he can do the Jacuzzi. And he said, oh, favor of turn, like, I'm doing you a favor of turning it off. So he should have caught it. But again, I don't even think that's the point. I think, fine, Gael didn't do something. He goes to Captain Sandy, Nathan, and Ian. And they go to Captain Sandy. They say, hey, this is what happened. Gael did it, but I'll take responsibility. It's shady. It's shady.
Yeah. Well, they didn't throw Gael on the bus to Captain Sandy. They didn't mention her to Captain Sandy.
They said like, oh, Gael did it, but I'll take the blame, I think.
Or maybe he told the
Ian. Sorry.
No, he told the engineer that Gael did it. And then by the time he got to Captain Sandy, by the time he got to Captain Sandy, he took the blame. But the way he told the engineer, he said it so fast. He's like, he said his exact words was, Gael done it.
Yeah, you're right.
I screamed, Gael done it.
Oh my God.
he like, Gael did it. So, but again, him going and taking the blame for it wasn't, oh, damn, I was involved as well. I think there was a little bit of like, I feel like I have to be the man and take the blame for this. Because, and it's gross. It's still misogyny, even if your intention is to do something noble, it's a noble for you. Yeah. It's not noble for Gael. It's noble because you feel like you need to be the man in the situation and that she can't handle it on her own. She's fine. She's okay. It's all right. If she made a mistake, like she said, I'll go and I'll take accountability for it. And she was so nervous taking accountability for it. She was like, she was so afraid that she might get in trouble, and she still did it. It's not hard to go in there. It's hard sometimes to own up to your mistakes, but she did way more than Ian did as far as taking accountability. And then Ian had the nerve to say, you mess up, you just gotta take accountability, And I was like, Ian, who are you talking to? You ain't took accountability all season, and now all of a sudden you're like, yeah, things happen. I got, she told me to crack the whip on y'all, but as long as you're taking accountability,
Yep. That's exactly it. It's gross. Ian is so embarrassing. Like, I don't know how else to say it about him. Gael said that no one smells but it out of the deckhands, but if she had to pick, it'd be Ian because he doesn't wash his hair as much. So it's just everything about him is pissing me off. And I think he said the wrong thing as a boss to Gael. He should have said, I got it. Because I care about you as my team member, I'm going to take the accountability. But what he ends up saying, I got it. It comes down to me anyway. Like, he's doing her a favor, which is not correct. It is really disrespectful. So, which is why I think Gael was like even more like, oh my God, I need to talk to Captain Sandy because I can't trust this guy to do it on my behalf. So I think what he should have done is like, hey, we have it handled, but if you'd like to still go talk to her, I think that's a fair thing to do. That's all he needed to have said.
Yeah, I just don't think Nathan needed to be in it at all. This was between Joe and Gael. This had nothing to do with you.
No, Nathan is the one.
Yes, Nathan. This is between Nathan and Gael. This had nothing to do with Joe.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like, why are you in it?
He just sat there and ate his food.
Yeah, nobody told you to come in there and do that. Nobody asked you. Nobody asked your opinion about this at all.
Yes. It's like, again, it goes back to what you already said. His ego has gotten too big.
He's chilling. That's why I said City Boys is down. City Boys was down this episode. And again, we had a good, strong run, Joe.
You did. I was completely out last week.
10 episodes. We was in it, okay? But you got sloppy. And it got so bad to the point where Nathan left him hanging at dinner when Ellie brought up that. Ellie brought up the song and Nathan
really walked away.
Excused himself because that ain't Nathan's fault. Again, Nathan didn't do nothing wrong this time. That was a Joe mistake. Unforced error by Joe. Joe playing both sides with these women. Joe is singing this song. Joe got caught. Joe, you need to take accountability for this.
And just the way Joe is talking about Gael, I'm flabbergasted. Like, to be like, she's a princess, she's a deck girl, just like anyone else. Shut up. How about you learn how to do your job first?
Yeah. He got a little too big for his britches, as they say in Texas.
Yes.
Man, I hate to see fallen angel. He was so close.
boys do this for each other all the time, right? Where they're constantly like having each other's back. But if God forbid you do it for a girl you like, simp.
Yeah, that's exactly what he did. He saw his boy potentially simping and he tried to step in. And you should have just sat there and ate your rice. You should have just sat there and ate your food because you didn't have to do this. And now now look how far your stock has fallen. We should have did a stock watch. We should have look at it's plummeting, sir. How are you going to financially recover from this? Oh, I know how, Sasha. Did you see the previews for what's coming this season? First, we got a starter, and then we got a main, and now we got dessert. Bring in the bombshell.
That's the thing. A new bombshell will enter, and looks like Joe is ready to enter her.
And yet, we still see Ellie and Bri in hell. How are y'all still falling for this?
Drop hot potato.
City Boys coming back, baby. Just wait on it. Just wait on it.
Just at this point, though, it's not even City Boys. I feel like he's a lame, a loser. And I just be like, oh, bless her heart. She just doesn't know any better. See, that's what I would do. Because Bri has said, right, they go out night one before their whole day of activity. So they're now finally going out. And I love that Bri's like, I need to stay the hell away from this man.
Yeah.
Like,
that's the demon. You gotta hide from him. If you can't play them games, get out of the kitchen. If it's too hot in there, you gotta get out. You can't just keep playing in shark infested waters. If you a minnow, you gotta know your limitations. Everything ain't for you.
And she, like I said, she did the right thing. I feel like yes, you did it over there. Let it be. And guess what? He was trying to get with you, right? He was trying to get Bri's attention. He's like, are you mad at me still? Ignore. Okay, that's the thing. So
they're waking up. They're waking up, Sasha. It's slowly happening. They're waking up,
baby girls. And Ellie has the mega ick on him as well. She's like, who does he think he is? I have NFL players in my DMs. That was so funny.
Yeah, she said, bitch, I got NFL players hit me up. And I said, oh, Ellie. Now, Ellie, you know that. Yet you've been fighting over this boy for half the season. Make it make sense.
Here's the thing. It's so easy to lie. You know, why tell the truth when you can lie? So my thing is go to the confessionals and be like, guys, I'm bored. I don't know what else to do. I want a boy to kiss. So I'm gonna try to fight for him because I want someone to kiss and I don't want to share him. I think if you just say that, immediate, you're good.
Yeah. That's it.
Been there. That's
because it's understandable. You know, it's this like, I'm gonna be mad at Bri.
Been in that
guy, you know, like that's where we lose Ellie. Like you're taking your anger out on Bri.
Yes.
Bri is not the problem. Bri is not the problem. The problem is the guy, you know. And even, ma'am, you got NFL players in your DMs. Why is this the first time we're hearing about this? You should have been saying that stuff. If you really wanted to piss Joe off or get his attention, you should have led with that. Because then he'd be like, oh, okay, you know, this might be a challenge, or because sometimes that's all it takes, you know, a little bit of oh, I'm not bothered with you, to make you really be like, well, why not? You know,
that's literally the easiest and number one rule.
It works. I ain't gonna lie to you. I've been victim.
It does.
I raise your hand if you have been victimized by being ignored by somebody who obviously likes you. It's me.
Oh, are you kidding me? And the problem is you don't even like them. But then they're ignoring you and you're like, wait, why?
Wait, why? Do I like you now? Because you're ignoring me? I think I like you.
Have you ever been at the club, you don't even know the person, and then you're like, well, I'm not really into you and I don't really want to dance with you, but now that you don't want to dance with me.
Why you dance with other people?
Yeah.
Right. Like you're supposed to be crying because I didn't want to dance with you. You're really supposed to be down bad. Why did you move on so quickly? Why didn't this hurt you as bad as it hurt me? You know? You're supposed to stop. Damn, Sasha, you legit witnessed this happen to me. You know, like you have witnessed it happen to me. You were there, and I was like, no, Sasha, I'm telling you. And I was right. I was right.
Yes. Okay. I will give it to. But the point is, I will never have my friend looking crazy in public. I don't care how long or how wrong or how crazy that makes me look.
Yeah. But I couldn't wait to report back.
I should let you be, and I said no. He will thank me in the morning.
I did, but at the same time, I got my revenge. I was like, ha! I got the DM. I knew it.
DMs.
And invitation.
Mind you, Chappelle's two friends now really hate this person. Because it made us look wrong. And Chappelle look right. And we hate that for us.
She would play it right out of Sasha's playbook. Ignore him and it'll work. And Sasha was like, hey, you're being ignored. You should stop. And I was like, wait, no, this is right. I feel this. I know this. But that's neither here nor there. Sasha, how did you feel? How did you feel about how this all played out when it comes to Bri and Ellie? Because Ellie does go and tell Bri, and she didn't have to, but she does go and tell Bri about the song.
Yeah, and I feel like they were both like very chill about it, kind of being like, yeah, we're dumb, like we should stop arguing, let's focus on him. And my notes even say, I hope they now have a common enemy.
I mean, that's the quickest way to really, the quickest way to really bond with somebody is like group hate, because it doesn't really have to, we don't have to have anything in common. We just know we don't like that person. And so maybe that could bring them together, but it's going to take a lot because in this episode, it still don't look like Captain Sandy and Aisha aren't even pretending like they're going to work. They're at this point, they're like, so we're hiring somebody else, right? Like, okay, cool. Bet. Like,
so and I'm like, are you hiring someone else like to fire or
right? Or just add a third level of drama? Could you imagine? We go through all of this, and don't get me wrong, it makes total sense to hire somebody and not fire anybody because then you'll be down again. You'll be down another person again, but why add a third person to the fray? If you need to hire two people, you need to replace both of them, and then you probably need to hire a third person to fill in that fourth spot. You know what I'm saying? Yep. You need a whole new slate, because let's say you fire Ellie because she's a big part of the problem. Fine. But Aisha even says in this episode, if I can work with Bri, she might be a good stew. Wait, no, she might be an okay stew. She could be a stew.
A stew.
That's the best. That's the high point of Bri's potential in Aisha's mind. So why would you keep Bri? So Ellie can go, Bri can go, but then you have 3 slots. That means 3 people should be hired. 3 new bombshells should be entering the villa.
That's the thing. Is it 3 bombshells? It's all for Joe. I'm stressed out.
Hey, it's gonna be tough. Joe, listen to me. I know you're listening. It's gonna be tough to financially recover from this one. You took some big hits in this episode, and they were all self-inflicted. You caused this, but we can bounce back. We have the technology. Okay, if they bring in 3 bombshells, do you think cook?
I just have a question.
Stun on them.
And you have asked this many times, so maybe you're not. Why can't they hook up with other people? Why does it have to be Joe?
They have. It's like he has them. And that's why I can't. That's why, for the city boys, I have to give them his flowers because they go out every other night. They go out and hit the bar every other night, and not once have we seen them look at anybody else. He's got them in hell.
At least have to commend it. They at least try to be like, I'm gonna look.
His grip is too strong. They can't look away. He's just got it. The man's got the reads. He's got it.
That's the problem. Again, this is why when you're single, you must have a roster. And what I mean by that is like someone that you can hook up with, obviously. But that's the basic. You have to have different people serving different purpose. Hey, I want to only get taken out, but I don't want to do anything. A person for that. I want to be, just felt like I'm pretty and I don't want to even look at him. And this is a text friend only. You got to have that. You got to have all these people. And now hit up that text buddy to get
Where's the NFL player?
Yeah. Just send him a little cute pic.
Ask the man to come to Greece. He's an NFL player. He got money.
He's going to want to get on the show. So,
I mean, you ain't even got to get on the show. All she got to say is, I'm spending the night somewhere else. And that'd be enough. Look, that'd be enough for Joe to be like, what? Excuse me? What? Huh? How, what? Where you going? Even if she didn't go do nothing, all she had to do is leave, get really dressed up, walk out. Bye, y'all. I got business to take care of. And don't tell nobody where you going. that's enough to have me knocking on your door. Hey, how was last night? So is everything go okay? You need some company? Like that. You got the breadcrumb these people sometimes. Damn, Ellie, what are we doing here?
Thank you. That's it. That's all I'm saying. It's just like figure out a way to work around this person. But
Warfare.
no, they're figuring out ways to like go and work with him. And I hate that for me. And yeah, gotta go back. I agree with you. It's just they need a bigger crew. Give these girls more options. Exactly.
Yeah. I don't think they knew Ian would be such a flop.
True. You know what? Because Ian could have been an option too. Because Asia's taken, Jono's taken. Fine, but everyone else is up for grabs. But no one wants to be grabbed by Ian.
We had a lot more potential last season with the mixing and mingling. Yes. There was a lot more of that. These people, I mean, Gail ain't even single. Technically, she wasn't even single for most of the season. So I mean, it's like
still made it happen.
Speaking of,
yes.
Do you think that, I mean, this is an old Sasha adage I'm gonna use, but do you think that Gail should be getting under something new to get over her old thing when it comes to Nathan?
Because what do you have to lose?
No, she don't want to. Because I think she said, I don't want to bounce from one relationship to the next. I think relationship is strong, Gail.
Thank
I think
you.
Yeah. Who said the R word? Why did you bring that up?
I would have been like, and she said this on Watch What Happens Live. Oh, he has my back, blah, blah, blah. No, just say he's a really good friend.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
He's like a brother.
And it really works. The problem is everyone, if you tell a boy he's like your brother to you, he's going to be like, well, how do I fix that and change it?
It's big, yeah. They're definitely good. Like that's a thin line to cross. Like that's one of those things. Like if you say that, I might feel like extremely friend zone, but I also might be like, but why do you feel like you could put me in that zone?
What would you do? Yeah, if that happened to you.
Yeah, it's one of those situations where it's like you have to really decide. You have to really go and assess what's going on. You can't just react because you might be like, oh damn, that's where we are. Okay, fine. Now whatever energy I thought I was giving you, we're shutting that down. But or if you say, all right, I don't want that, then you gotta turn up the heat a little bit. You gotta be like, all right, whatever the brother vibes are, we're turning that off. Now I'm about to be you got
I agree.
You gotta turn up.
I have never like brother zoned anyone because that's just icky. Because like, what if I do feel something that it's curtains for me. I'm screwed. I backed myself into the corner. So I personally would never. But I do have friends that do that and then have ended up marrying.
Yeah. Because it changes. I think it changes your tactic. I think that if you were like pursuing somebody and they look at you as a brother type, then that means, or if they say they look at you like a brother type, then that means you're not giving enough romance or they're not attracted to you. You know what I'm saying? Because you're not attracted to your brother. You don't want to marry your brother. You don't want to be intimate with your brother. So because of that, that means you're giving the wrong energy. So that means you need to adjust your energy at that point. Now, if she's still not about it, then hey, it's too late for you. You're lost. You're drowning in God's eye, as they say on House of the Dragon. And so here, this was definitely like, hey, she has the opportunity to either be single, which she could do. She could definitely do that. She could be single and not involved with him. But I think the chemistry has gotten to the point where they're already kissing and stuff in like hallways and stairwells and stuff like that. Gail, live your life. If you feel like you can do this without catching feelings or whatever. But if I'm Gail, I'm looking at this combo of Nathan and Joe and saying, I don't want to be involved with this. Because you see how they talk about the other girls? What you think they're going to do with you? You think you exempt?
Thank you. Stop thinking you're any different.
Yeah, they're not gonna change for you that quick too. You know what I'm saying? Like, you could very well be the next song they singing.
I don't think anyone changes, especially men, change for a girl. I think that you can think about it, and for yourself and have a little moment. But you ask a man to change for you just break up because that is what they're hearing.
Right. They've seen Joe for what he is now. So it would be wild to go back down that route. Nathan still has a little bit of cover. But again, if you're a team, then you have to, like, Nathan did not stop Joe from singing that song.
Yes.
He obviously felt comfortable enough talking about this with Joe. We've seen it. So he's not in a different playground. This isn't like, oh yeah, well, he's not like them other boys. Like, hey, Gail, just know what you're getting yourself into. These are shark infested waters. This man did not care when you had a relationship. So imagine if he didn't respect your relationship, do you think he's going to respect y'all's relationship? You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying he won't. Just you have to be aware of the possibilities. You know, don't go in there blind.
Yeah. I think that's valid. This is why you just say we're really good friends and leave it. Leave it so you don't look stupid on Watch What Happens Live. To say we're good friends, you're good friends, and saying you're bored is the two biggest arsenals when it comes to toxic 101. Because you have zero accountability.
Yeah.
Oh, you say you're bored for anything serious? No, actually, that's even worse because then people will be like, suss that out. That's why don't actually ever say you're not looking for anything serious. Just say you're bored.
Yeah. Unless you're Alex from Martha's Vineyard, then you say, I'm not looking for nothing serious and just let people fawn over you because some people just got it like that.
But Alex from Martha's Vineyard is like boss up. Like I would never even enter into the ring with Alex. I know I'd get caught up.
It's that filthy crimson and cream that boy be wearing. That's to get them going every time.
Once they start moving the stage,
menaces, all of them. Sasha, we haven't really talked about the charter at all. Is there anything that stood out for you for the charter? They were pleasant. I didn't think they felt like they were giving like the energy of like we can be hard, we could be really difficult. I didn't really see it.
Nothing. They were very nice. They gave a $21,500 tip. Porn stars, as in the drink, was the only like issue. It seems like they loved the food. Jono was great, and goodbye. Was this a 1-day charter? Like, are we getting 1 day, maybe 2 days charters? It just seems so small.
Yeah, this one was probably 2 days, but the next one that we're getting is a short charter. We bring in those guests at the very end. We know they have a short person, like a short, what is it? A shorter person, like as far as like, they're coming in halfway through the charter is what I mean. They're having a shorter stay. And so, so they have to deal with like this new group. And this group has some bigger dietary restrictions, obviously. The last group, it sounded like it was going to get tense, but they loved Jono. Do we need to sing Jono's praises? Is it time?
Yeah, because they said, oh, he really shut us up. And that's high praise.
Yeah, I think it's time. Because those first episodes, if you run back the tape on this podcast, we was like, Jono, count your days. You know, it's on the way out.
I think that he's learned. Even he talked himself up to talk about, hey, I'm not great at baking, right? But because I didn't go to culinary school, but even then I'm trying. Tears in the charter guest eyes when they're seeing the happy birthday celebration. So I think he's good for now, or maybe he's good because I just don't know why Captain Sandy said on the charter, on Watch What Happens Live, that he should learn how to cook.
Well, we did see in the previews for the coming season that it does seem like, yes, Witty AF points it out in the chat that they are leading into somebody's getting fired, and it's probably Jono. We don't even see, like, we see her basically. The clip is a woman saying, I have a food allergy that can kill me. And then Captain Sandy going to Jono and saying, this food could kill her. Why would you put that near her plate? And I was like, all right, you got to go.
Yeah, and it's a him because she says, I have to fire him now. Oh, okay. I have no choice but to fire him. So it's it could only be two people, Ian or Jono.
Yeah. And I mean, it could be Joe.
No.
Nah, I take a
hook up.
Yeah, he's good. Yeah, you're right. Ian or Jono, and I mean, I don't know. You know, the edit, they play with the edit a little bit to make us believe certain things are going to happen and they're not so bad or whatever. But I really don't know how they're going to spin this one. It looked like they were expressly told this can kill me, and it still ended up near or on the plate.
That's on the nose for them to like show it.
That's what I was thinking too. But how do you spin it? You know, like why is it just like is she talking about hypotheticals? You know, like how is she?
Is there a she never put it on her preference sheet?
Oh, or something like that.
That's the only thing that saves him.
Yeah. Man. I mean, it could be Ian. This was a horrible episode for Ian. Ian didn't even do anything in this episode, and his name still came up for being fired. If I'm Ian, I'm like, how did I get in it? I was there when the jacuzzi happened.
Captain, I'm telling. So this Captain Sandy, the way she used to Ian, imagine she used to be like that to like all of the interior.
Gotcha.
So that's why it was so frustrating because they did a montage. Of all of that, of him messing up. So how can it not be him?
We got a few montages in this episode. We got a montage of Ian messing up. We got a montage of Ellie messing up. And I think we got a montage of Bri's horrible laundry skills.
Yes.
Yeah, they're really leaning into like remember all the times we told you that these people were bad? Look at all the reasons they were bad. Is there anywhere where Ellie is the one getting fired and yet Jono and Ian survive? I don't think there's any way. I feel like Jono, they have that other chef on standby. He's sitting on the dock of the bay waiting for you to call him so he could just get out there just get to row it out there to the other boat. He's going to hop up on a tender all of a sudden and just be like, I'm here with the spatula, ready to work. Like, I feel like Jono is the most in danger still, but he's been so good lately.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I could see it being either or. I'll just say that. And Chai is even saying like Ellie was packing, but I don't.
It feels
too on the nose.
They're trying to lead us astray, y'all. We can't fall for these things. And then watch all three of them getting fired, and we're gonna be like, "What?
Yeah,
what happened?"
But only 7 episodes left, y'all. So I don't know.
Let me tell you something about Below Deck. There are still 7 weeks left in this damn show. 7 weeks, ain't but 52 weeks in a year. We done spent 17 of them by the time the fall rolled around talking about Below Deck Med. And we already did a Below Deck. It's like we're around the clock Below Dexes. It's a lot. Why are these seasons so long? Some of this stuff could be an email.
Thank you. I think it should be a good 12 max. A 10 with maybe
solid
10 episodes.
Yeah, exactly. Because they started teasing the previews for the rest of the season at the beginning of this episode before the first commercial break. I said, why did it go off? It's weird. It's weird because they be like leaving up on cliffhangers that lead to nothing. And I really think they can condense a lot of this stuff because when we get on here and talk about the drama, a lot of this stuff with the engine and all that kind of stuff, it's cool. But let's get all the drama in one spot. Let's tackle these moments. I just feel like there's a way they can make this a little bit more conducive to the viewing watching.
Matt's correct. I think that it's not necessarily episode count, but double episodes a week. I think that you're right. I think that's the perfect thing for Below Deck because this is outrageous.
It's still good because they're fighting, but when they stop, what we gonna be talking about?
That's the thing. If Ellie's fired and Ian's gone, what the hell are we gonna talk about?
Right. We need somebody fired just because we need somebody fired. It's Below Deck. That's what we get into. But make no mistake, we need the drama still. So it's like fire somebody that's why I'm like, Jono can go. No disrespect. He's doing a great job.
All Jono did this episode, besides being good at his job, obviously. He's good at his job. And had a little fun with the girlies. He licked Aisha's hand.
But Aisha's nasty like that. She's into it. Because remember last week, Aisha's like
her foot touching Gail's boobs.
Yeah, she's a foot girly. Aisha nasty. Not like in a disgusting way, but Aisha like she a freak. And so she don't care. That didn't bother. That was speaking her language.
If someone I don't even know what I would do.
It just like I thought like maybe she had like chocolate on her hands or something like that. It felt like
that's hot.
Well, because he's cooking, so I felt like maybe she put her hand in something. I don't know, but just to reach over and grab somebody and lick their hand,
just
the hand. Honestly, the hand low key nastier than the foot because the foot is in a sock or in a shoe. It's not touching a lot of stuff. The hand is constantly. It touches everything. Bathroom doors.
I would still do hand.
Mentally, it's easier to conceptualize.
Correct.
But what part of your body touches the most things? Literally your hand. Your hand touches everything. You go, that's what. Blah, so
like I said, I think you're correct, but I'm just thinking if I were to do it, would I have someone's? Yeah, would you rather, and chat can answer, right? Have someone lick your hand or like
no, would you rather lick a hand or lick a foot?
Or no, because that's not what, because the hand was licked, but then the foot was fondling the breast. So which one would you rather
Would
have?
I allow somebody to fondle my chest with their
well, feet? You know what it would be for.
That is not the same. That is not equivalent. How dare you? Also, maybe.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. No, not the same, because it doesn't feel bad. Your butt in public. How about that? Yeah, there we go.
No.
Exactly. You would do the hand. You would let someone lick your hand. Oh my god. Chat is not having it with us. Oh god. Listen, I want to know. We're gonna make this. I thought about it, so you all have to. And gotta go pack correct. Below Deck Slop Edition. They not having me on the slop. So every time I have to make my own slop, or this is my audition tape. I don't know what to tell y'all at this point. Either way. Anything else from this episode? And then we do have a Joe and Bri hookup. Maybe, possibly.
Another one?
Coming up. Yes, because Bri and Ellie, right, are coming together about Joe, blah, blah, and then it cuts to Bri being in a bathroom or something, and she's telling Joe, I want to hook up with you so bad. And Joe is like, Joe either says it or asks it, get your effing skirt up. And then she said, if you can't be a man, I will be. And
Bri!
Then, yeah.
Bri! Mm-hmm. Okay, more of that.
Yeah.
Turn that up. Turn that up. Turn that up. Make sure Ellie can hear you.
Mm-hmm. So that's what I'm saying. It's just, was it girl get your skirt? I'm pretty sure it was get your effing skirt up, and it wasn't a question, but I'm not sure. I don't know if City Girls were up because of it.
It sounds like City Boys back.
Yeah,
that ick is just melting away from this man. He's coming back to full form. Captain America's got a shield in his hand.
Yeah, no. Yuck. I can't do it. I have the ick. I can't. If I have the ick on someone, it's over. Like, it will never come back. So it's just, that happens. Joe's about to hook up with, again, his dessert of the night. So we'll see. It's going to get ridiculous. And there will be a lot of flooding with water from the weather.
It's about to get wet.
In many ways.
Yeah.
So you should be watching Below Deck and our coverage. But yeah, so is there anything else? Sorry, I forgot to bring that up. But anything else?
Nah, you got me with that one. This was wild. Again, this was like, it was like enough drama that I knew we'd have a good time talking about it. But still, a pretty normal episode of Below Deck, I'd say.
Period. It was fun. This was a great one. I felt like we had a lot to talk about. So I'm excited to see where this goes. But also, we have a little bit of a programming update that I will be gone for the next few weeks. So there will be people coming in, or person coming in. Listen, the dessert is coming.
The dessert is coming. Sasha, you have never been a starter. Stop it. You might be a main course. You could be dessert too. But this is just like a side meal. That's all.
Ooh, this is a palate cleanser. How about
that?
Yeah.
And a mousse-bouche. Just a little tasted menu for a couple weeks or so. Until Sasha comes back, I'll be holding it down with whoever I can find to step in. So we shall see what happens.
Yeah. You gotta go pack his right. I'm going to Greece. I'm doing a City Girls, how to be on top as City Girls tour.
Live your life.
Yes. Okay, that's what I'll be yelling. Stand up. There will be no chairs in this room.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone needs to stand up. All right. Yeah, that is our programming note. But listen, if you're enjoying this, there are almost 70 plus folks of us. So get like the video. All right.
Like the video.
Come on. Like the video, leave a comment. We're just having a good time here. So get excited. I think it's gonna be great without me, but don't have too much fun because y'all know I'm a jealous person. And if you're listening to us, leave us a 5-star review on the Below Deck RHAPup feed as well. And Chappell, where can the people find you?
People can find me on Twitter at Recap Kickback and on YouTube, youtube.com/@RecapKickback, where I have my own podcast where I talk about what I want to talk about, including the Olympics right now. We have a lot of coverage of that on Recap Kickback, but we got a lot of good stuff too, dealing with House of the Dragon. Me and Mari have that. Puya and I will be talking about season 3 of Bel-Air very soon, and so that'll be a good time. And you can also catch me on Rob Has a Podcast, talking about Netflix shows with Rob Session, on the Nothing But Netflix podcast, and I weekly on The Slop, as we mentioned here, with Rob Session, so that's always a good time. Our guest this week was America Lopez from Big Brother 25, and so now here we are talking about Slop every week. Check it out, but you gotta become a patron to do that. Patreon.com/RHAP in order to join the patron community and to see all the things behind the paywall. And it gets you think this is bad, it gets sloppy back there. So check that out. And then, make sure you tune in and subscribe, like Sasha said, because we got a lot going on here. Oh, I also did the Bachelorette wrap up recently with Haley and Amy. Yeah. If you think I talking wild about relationships here, imagine what I said on the Bachelorette. Check that out. Stay tuned for Chappelle stuff. It's coming.
Yes, and as always, listen, chat's already talking about her, but Kirsten McKennis and I cover your favorite celebrities and their mess. And listen, if you want to know why something's trending, you need to check out Mess Magnets. So go to Rob Has a Website /mess feed for your pop culture fix. And Taryn Armstrong and I just wrapped up the coverage of The Getaway, where it's a bunch of cool YouTubers that were in a mole traders type reality game. And we got exit interviews with all of them. So we just recorded actually today the final exit interviews with the winners and with the final 3, I'll say. So check all of that out because it's really fun. And Mike Bloom and I, of course, are talking to your favorite reality TV stars about their favorite scripted shows. So Demi Burnett from The Bachelor, Bachelorette, Bachelor in Paradise world joined us to talk Shogun. We've had Davey to talk about The Boys. And for this newest one, we talked the House of Dragon finale with Karishma from Survivor 39. So it was so much fun. Karishma's the best. Karishma wants to talk Bollywood. So it's really exciting. And check all of that out. And of course, I guessed it on a few things. So follow me on Twitter on funsize_04 to know when all of that is coming out. And with that, thank you everyone for listening. Y'all are the best. Well, I will see you soon-ish, but Chappell will be here again soon. Bye.
Peace.